It's speedrunning season. With awesome games done quick in full force right now, I wanted to get in on the speedrunning action. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is GiantGrantGames, and today I am here to showcase the Starcraft 2 Wings of Liberty speedrun. Every Friday on my Twitch, I've been trying out speedrunning. The footage from today was taken from August 14th, 2020. The category is normal any percent, and it has a few rules. Beat the campaign on normal difficulty. Faster game speed is required. Playing the mission on higher difficulties is allowed. Runs are measured in real time, not in-game time. And time starts when you gain control on Liberation Day, and ends when you lose control of your units on All In. I've wasted enough time, let's get into it. On Liberation Day, I want to avoid as many fights as possible. I form a line with Jim Raynor in the front. He's bulky and allows me to charge through the first couple groups of enemies. The town square has a ton of enemies. Jim tanks the shots, but takes a lot of damage. Once a drop pod reinforcements land, we're almost done. After building a box of Marines around Jim to keep him safe, I kill the enemies that can move and walk past the ones that can't. At the end, I ignore the Vikings and target down the objective. I have bait Marines on each side so they don't kill Jim. Easy. Outlaws is the first macro mission, but mining is a hassle, so I don't bother. I send one SCV to grab mineral pickups on the battlefield. The rest join up with the Marines and head out. After liberating the Allied base, I use 2 barracks and the looted minerals to rally Marines into the action while I continue to push. I try to make a line formation to avoid the splash damage from the Hellions. I can't be losing units. This damn bunker can be a killer though. I try to avoid losses, but it's inevitable when I'm rushing. The base itself is lightly defended. I get each building into the red and then I leave it to burn down. I make sure to kill the command center and the factory at the same time in order to avoid a speech trigger, saving a few seconds. 0 Hour is the first non-skippable defense mission. I clear the entire map with Marine and Medic and then talk to my stream chat for 15 minutes. After the mission, I get my first armory upgrade, Combat Shields. It's not as fast as Stimpack is, but the early damage from Stim is risky, it can cause resets. I head to Smash and Grab for a couple of reasons. First is the power of the Marauder. Its high HP will provide reliable support for my Marines. Second is that I need 25 Protoss research before heading to Char for some later strategies. This map has 4. Hitting the second pylon causes the event that spawns Marauders to trigger earlier than normal, allowing me to get a move on. I grab the first bonus objective and start pushing. I continuously rally Marauders into the fight. Once I'm supply blocked, I pull all but one of my SCVs to the front line to tank. The Protoss base can easily snipe my Marines and Medics. My Marauders and SCVs should be the only ones taking damage to guarantee survival. I load the last SCV into the command center and lift it off. Head west to the Protoss research. After dropping him to grab it, I load up and head east for another. At the end of the Protoss base, there are 2 sentries that force field, but one can be aggroed and killed before it blocks your path. I take this time to grab the 4th Protoss research. The stone zealots at the end are slow. Clustering my forces in a corner means I don't have to worry about the 3rd one for a bit. Redstone is usually a balancing act of gathering minerals and building defenses. I'm not building today. I send my first 2 Marines north, rescuing 5 Reapers, a command center, and some SCVs. The Reapers dart to the southeast to find some friends, and mineral pickups as well. If you're really quick, you can rush to another area before the lava rises, but I wasn't able to make it in time. After the lava, I return my bases to mining, and send my Reapers to the southern Zerg base. Behind the lair are a ton of minerals, and killing it gives me some more. Moving to the right brings me to the back of another Zerg base. I do the same thing. I'm finally given what is supposed to be my initial Reapers. I intend for them to grab cash near the Brutalisk, but I mess it up. My remaining Reapers make a mad dash to pick up as much money as possible, and I reach 8,000 minerals long before the second lava wave rises. Between missions, I grab both medic upgrades and Stimpack. It's time for the first abusable bug of the run. When channeling at the Terrazine altars, enemies come to attack my SCVs. On 3 of the closest altars, if you cancel harvesting Terrazine gas twice, the enemy attack trigger breaks, allowing uncontested harvesting. After I get 2 medics to reinforce my initial army, my barracks goes on an adventure, and the command center is lifting off too. While 4 SCVs mine uncontested in the west, I send my army to clear out 3 geysers in the east and start gathering from them. Unfortunately, stopping enemy spawns doesn't work here. I have to fight the attackers. My command center lands nearby for a quicker gas drop-off. My floating barracks lands near Protoss research and trains a Marine to go grab it. The remainder of my army then dives the final Protoss research right as I turn in the 7th Terrazine gas. The Great Train Robbery is another defense mission. This time, it's somewhat skippable. Changing the difficulty to brutal is allowed and decreases the time that it takes each train to spawn, saving about 5 minutes. Killing the first 7 trains quickly doesn't matter. The final one should be taken down as soon as possible though. Its spawn point is heavily defended. I grab my SCVs and medics into a separate control group. When the Marines charge to the spawn point, the non-combat units soak damage from siege tanks and bunkers. The Marines target the final train down, and the mission ends. Cutthroat is another money-gathering mission. No Reapers this time though. To supplement the Marines I'm given, I push out 2 medics. The squad starts cleaning up the top area of the map. Normally, I would disrupt Colonel Orland's mining here, but ain't nobody got time for that. After collecting the Northern Protoss research, the boys head south for some mineral pickups. After Mirahan gives me some vultures, I start controlling both groups independently at the same time. The Marine Medic Force clears the area in the top, while the vultures grab 2 more Protoss research and collect what they can from the south. Eventually, I collect 6,000 minerals, and look at that! My 2 armies are right where Mira's mercenaries spawn. I grab everybody together, pull the SCVs, and crush Colonel Orland's base. In the first section of Ghost of a Chance, I charge my Bioforce past the enemy bunker and up the ramp to target down a Marauder with Concussive Shell. Nova targets the gate controls down, and my units join together. After eliminating a few more Marauders, I approach a tank. The Marine Medic Force charges the tank, soaking hits while Nova mind controls a Raven to drop 2-point defense drones, and runs past. After reaching the objective, Nova mind controls a battlecruiser, Yamato cannons the objective, and finishes it off. In Section 2, I mind control a nearby Raven and send it to drop auto turrets on the gate controls. Nova clears Rainer's landing site. After I'm delivered an army, I kill a bunker, mind control a tank, and push through the middle. I send the main army towards the objective and drop some point defense drones to protect them. Nova heads to the nearby nuclear silo while the tanks kill the objective. In Part 3, my entire army beelines it towards the objective. On the way, I grab another Raven for point defense drone. I plant a nuke that I stole from Part 2 on the final objective while the Air Force defends Nova. Once it lands, the mission ends. Concussive Shell is really annoying for speedrunners, so I grab my own Marauder upgrades to teach the AI a thing or two. The Dig is the longest defense mission in the game, turtling for around 35 minutes waiting for the Dragon laser drill to destroy the objective. What they don't tell you is that eliminating all of the incredibly well-defended Protoss bases also ends the mission. I use stimmed Marines to quickly activate the siege tank spawning sequence and base acquisition triggers. After getting my base, I use advanced construction to quickly build a second command center. I saturate both of the mineral fields, get some upgrades, and 4 barracks. After a few minutes, I gain control of the laser drill. This is supposed to be used to reduce the power of enemy attack waves, but I have a better idea. Using a flying factory to spot, the drill starts killing off high-priority defenses at the entrance to the enemy's northern base. Once the factory dies, the defenses are weakened enough, so it's time to strike. The Marine Marauder medic engages the enemy while the drill melts through their buildings. The top base is the larger and scarier one. After it's down, I turn the drill onto the bonus objectives for 3 more Protoss research. All that is left is the eastern base, who's small but has a deadly ramp. I pull all of my SCVs, put them in front to soak the army hits. They all die, but it buys me enough time to breach the entrance. This mission is where solid RTS play and good decision making can save you tons of time. Every speedrunner has a trick that they suck at. Mine is at the beginning of Whispers of Doom. You can blink through this hole in the wall with Zeratul, but for some reason, whenever it counts, I always mess it up. Not wanting to waste more time on this blink, I decide to abandon and move through the mission normally. I'm only going to do the first 3 Zeratul missions, ignoring In Utter Darkness. They all give a significant amount of Protoss research I still desperately need. Once I get Stalkers, I can get a bit more tricky. The Broodlords can quickly surround me with Broodlings and slow me down, so the Stalkers act as bait and Zeratul can get through. After each section, Stalkers respawn, so it's okay to let them die. But for some reason, the Broodlord followed me to the next part, so I didn't actually save any time by skipping it. After reaching the 3rd temple is a cool trick. Zeratul talks a lot during this mission, and you can actually buffer multiple dialogues in a row to delay event triggers. This means that Chaos is supposed to be spawned right here. Instead, there's nothing, for a while, meaning the Zeratul can use him and his Stalker force to take down these Roaches and Ultralisks before the event ever begins, making it much quicker and easier later on. After clearing the 3rd temple, there is a quick escape sequence, and I'm off to a Sinister Turn. I start with 6 probes. 2 of them are sent to repower my base, and then I head out to find an abandoned Dark Shrine and robotics facility on the map. Powering each gives units and Protoss research. I use the Dark Templar I got from the Dark Shrine to clear a path for a sneaky probe to move through the enemy base to the final abandoned structure. At home, I make a Zealot, another Dark Templar, and some probes. After clearing to the abandoned Templar archives, the Dark Templar move to control the center. Once an event with an enemy stalker talking and dying completes, I move my Great Protoss army into the middle of the map and wait for the bridge to spawn. I'm not entirely sure what triggers this bridge, but I got lucky this time. In another run, I had to sit around for almost 3 minutes waiting for it to spawn. After the bridge extends, I send that standard Protoss army of an Immortal, a Zealot, 5 probes, and 3 Dark Templar across. Most of it is bait, so the Dark Templar can slip through the enemy base and start attacking the objectives. After Mar spawns, I have to avoid him with a Templar while I finish off the objectives. In Echoes of the Future, Zeratul gets control of a base and 2 Colossus. He has to reach 4 Overmind tendrils to do stuff with them. I use an observer to spot for Zeratul's blink, allowing him to quickly reach the first tendril. While I wait for Zeratul to finish, I grab my Colossus and my probes and start pushing to the bonus objectives. I have to create a pylon at 2 obelisks for 2 more Protoss research. Whenever I regain control of Zeratul, it's my top priority to get him to the next objective. The obelisk is secured, but creep proceeds slowly in Wings of Liberty. I have to leave a probe and move on. After reaching the 3rd tendril, the Colossus reach the 2nd obelisk. Thankfully, this one isn't completely covered in creep. I dropped multiple pylons because I had an unfortunate pylon incident in an earlier run. After Zeratul reaches the 4th tendril, the Protoss missions have been completed. It's time to finish off the main questline so I can head to Char. In order to destroy the Moebius Factor's data cores, I need to wait for Dr. Narud to give me some medevacs. While I wait, I start 2 Marines, a siege tank, and another medevac. After reinforcements arrive, I head to the first data core to rescue the allies there. The medevac and siege tank that I built have a secret mission of their own. Sieging a tank in this position can hit the data core without the enemy being able to return fire. This even works on Brutal. After the first data core is down, I load up and head to the final core. This is your captain speaking. If you look to your right, you can see the Queen of Blades terrorizing the citizens of the Dominion. Please fasten your seatbelts and expect turbulence. I unload my infantry and make a mad dash to the 3rd data core. It's well defended, but slipping into this nook gives my Marines a great position to kill it off. Banshees are great on Supernova. After sniping the pylon that powers the cannons and securing a base, I move them out. I send a Marauder to his doom for a piece of Protoss research, and then the great Banshee journey begins. I follow a very exact path to avoid detection of my Banshees. Once I'm near the final objective, there's a cannon that needs killing. If one of my Banshees dies, it's a major time loss. If 2 of them die, it's a reset. Mine barely make it alive. After the cannon is down, there's a safe spot for them to start working on the main objective. There are 3 more Protoss research on the map, and I have 50 seconds to get them all. I load almost all my bio into the medevac and drop them at this ledge. They all then race to see who can get to the 2nd Protoss research quickest. The medevac comes home, grabs a remaining Marine, and shuttles it over to the 3rd Protoss research. The final research is in the bottom right-hand corner. I use the orbital command scan to reveal it, and then drop a mule to claim the 25th Protoss research with an entire second before the main objective was destroyed. After the mission, the Protoss research pays off. I grab Orbital Strike. Seeing as I spent so much effort to get Orbital Strike, I might as well abuse it. The Ripfield generators on the Maw are deadly to any low HP targets, but I don't have time to be building battle cruisers. I power out 2 Ghost Academies and start building nukes. The next trick is pretty difficult. There's a safe spot for cloaked units behind the objective. I can cloak a Ghost as soon as it lands, otherwise it will be eviscerated by Protoss forces. On top of this, as soon as the Ghost lands, it triggers 2 cutscenes in a row. There's only a couple frames between the cutscenes that the Ghost can cloak. If I fail, he dies, and the mission is extended by about 40 seconds per dead Ghost. The Ripfield is painful, but a Ghost still has the durability to land a nuke before dying. 2 nukes and some auto attacks later, and I'm off to Char. Gates of Hell is a 2-parter. First, I must get 100 army supply. After that's complete, General Warfield will crash and I have to rescue him. Orbital Strike means I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I put up 4 barracks and move my infantry onto the map, grabbing all of the resource pickups I can find. I only produce units from the barracks and orbital strike them directly to where General Warfield will eventually land. Medics take up 2 supply, so they're perfect, but I need Marines to actually kill stuff. After Warfield crashes, I happen to be standing exactly on top of the Nidus worms, and they die quickly. Shatter the Sky is chaos. There are 4 coolant towers to destroy, and I have a jank army of 2 Banshees, a battlecruiser, and some bio to do it with. I move this force to the first tower and clear it out. The slow battlecruiser starts moving on to not hold things up. Soon after, the first coolant tower goes down. Did you think I was done abusing orbital strike? There's a very small area near the coolant tower where 4 enemy hydralisks are exactly out of range. I drop a marine there and let him do his thing. The Banshees split up from the rest of the team and head west. There are 3 hydralisks to kill, and then they have free reign onto the tower. They're on a strict time limit though. If I'm not fast enough, more hydralisks will spawn and the Banshees will die, causing a reset. The remaining force moves to the southwest and is joined by a ghost. Together they kill a Broodlord and Corruptor force, which is actually pretty scary. I paint a nuke on the final coolant tower. It'll deal half the tower's HP and damage. The Bio and Battlecruiser cover the ghost. After the nuke lands, it's the Battlecruiser's turn. He walks up, fires a Yamato cannon, and finishes off the point. Now all I have to do is wait on Billy the Marine to finish off his tower, and we're almost done with the run. All In is a great mission, but for speedrunning, it's kind of a letdown. There's no way to make it end more quickly, so I turtle up and wait it out. Often speedrunners mess around here, but I knew I had a really good time. I didn't want to take even the slightest risk. After the artifact reaches 100%, time is called, and now we can see how I did. This is only my 4th time doing the run, but I really feel like I had a great one. So, how did I do? My final time was 1 hour, 55 minutes, and 51 seconds. And that puts me firmly in 3rd place. I'm incredibly happy with this result. Being able to stand near the incredible runners like Probe and ZPR feels amazing. If you want to watch the full run, the VOD is linked in the description of the video. Thank you so much for watching. And if you want to support my ability to create more videos like this, please give me a like and a subscribe. Also, you can check out my Twitch if you want to hang out every day. And finally, I've launched a Patreon. All ad revenue from this video, as well as my August Patreon dollars, are going to be donated to Awesome Games Done Quick and Doctors Without Borders. The speedrunning community has been able to do so many great things, and I'm really excited to be able to chip in my own way. Once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Peace!